I started at my state level chapter, which at the time was Michigan. I spent a lot of time in Michigan, and so I worked on some of their committees. I did some educational stuff for local planning officials. And then I moved to Minnesota about 10 years ago and got involved at the board level of our local chapter, being encouraged by some of my new colleagues. And through that, I first connected with National for the AICP exam committee. So they need lots of people to do that work, and I volunteered to do some item writing, so I was actually writing exam questions, and then just sort of progressed up the ranks in exam, decided to run for AICP commission then, and then here I am as president. So sort of funneled through my local chapter, which I think is the path that a lot of folks go through. That is a question I get all the time from folks who are considering whether it's worth the effort to study and take the exam and maintain the credits. My first answer is that the AICP is more than just some letters after your name. It is your institute of certified planners, and so we are a community of planners, of professional planners that support each other, that we rely on our code of ethics and aspirational principles to explain how we do our work and why we do what we do. And we also, the fact that we're required to stay up to date with certification maintenance, meaning that we are continuing our professional education. We understand the trends and the issues that are facing planners all across the country, really helps to show to employers, to prospective clients that we've achieved a certain level of knowledge and skill in the planning profession that you can rely on and feel comfortable with. And yeah, and during these difficult times, again, I would say that AICP is here to support you and provide the education and the resources you need to do your job better. Well, first of all, I'd say it's fun. It's a great opportunity to network with planners all around the country, meet new people, finding out what issues they're facing. I've really gotten a lot out of that. But also, one of our responsibilities is to give back to the profession. And I can't think of a better way to help provide support to professional planners, to give them the training and the resources that they need to do their jobs well. That's super fulfilling. I also really enjoy the parts of leadership where I feel like I have an influence on planners who are just entering the profession. It's a great way to meet young folks and just show all of the great things that planners can do. I think it's really important to give young folks a chance to talk with people who are doing things that they may not believe they can do, things that they didn't know were possible, and to just show them that there is a pathway within planning to do all sorts of wonderful things. In my mentoring relationships, we talk a lot about advice on jobs and things like that, and it really helps to hear from folks who have been through it and can provide some guidance. I would also encourage planners from all different backgrounds and locations and demographics and that kind of thing to look at mentoring, because it's so important, I think, for emerging planners to interact with people who look like them, who have similar experiences, and just to know what's possible. I have learned a lot from young people that I mentor, especially as I've gotten more advanced in my career and more separated from planning school and what the job market looks like for planners who are entering. I hire a lot of people in my day job, and so it's really helpful to know what they're concerned about and what they're looking for in the planning field, and and be able to kind of adapt to that from an older planner standpoint. I came at planning from an environmental angle. So when I was an undergraduate, I was studying environmental science, and there were a lot of different concentrations within my major, and one of the classes I took was on land planning, and I really loved it. We worked with the local community, and that's sort of how I got a window into this profession that I didn't even know existed. I think back in the 1900s, as young people like to say, including my son, remind me, yes, I graduated in the 1900s. Back then, I think a lot of people didn't know that planning existed until they got to like graduate school or something like that. So that's how I was introduced to it. I went right to graduate school, and my intention was to study natural resources. But I also talked to the planning department and decided that, you know, this is really great. So I did both. And while I was studying, I got an internship in a local planning office, and I just fell in love with it and continued doing it ever since. So I think a lot of planners come from a huge variety of backgrounds, you know, social sciences, physical sciences, you know, just humanities perspectives. And there's I guess that's why the planning profession is so interesting, is because we're all different. We didn't just follow the same path to get to where we are. Yeah, you know, at the stage of the career that I'm at, I'm really pretty happy where I am. You know, I don't have aspirations to climb the corporate ladder or become director of this or that. I'm really fortunate to lead an amazing group of planners in my current job. I'm able to work on projects all around the country, and in my role with AICP, I'm able to travel around the country and interact with all sorts of people. So I'm really very happy with where I am right now. I guess I would say the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is to see the impact of my work that I've done in the past. You know, it takes a while for planning projects to get implemented, to really see the impact that you've had. And so that's really what I'm looking forward to, is being able to look back and say, oh, you know, that project that we did or that plan we wrote actually made a difference in a community. And so I guess that's what I aspire to. Planners bring a lot of unique things to the places that they work. One of the most important is that because we come from all these different backgrounds, we really understand the big picture and how different subject matters interact with each other. For example, you know, we understand that for economic development to happen and for job creation, you also need to have the right kind of housing. You need to have transportation options so that people can meet their daily needs and get to work in a way that's affordable to them. We understand that land use and transportation are very intertwined. All of those things, I think, are really unique values that planners bring to their workplaces. The other thing, especially right now, that I think about a lot is that we understand how to navigate in the political environment. You know, we really have a lot of skill in understanding whatever circumstances we work in and being able to communicate our message in a way that is palatable and understandable by the decision makers that we're working with. So communication is a big factor for planners. I think we do a great job in general of presenting information, helping decision makers make the most informed decisions that they can, and advocating where necessary. We don't make the decisions usually. We're not the ones that are elected, but the way we support them allows to make great changes in our communities. Well, I am a recent empty nester. My son is now in college, and so I think my ideal day would be sleeping late, having iced coffee. I love to golf. That's one of my favorite pastimes, or in the winter, skiing. So I would do some sort of outdoor recreation. And then I think one of the things I love to do is, my son is a theater kid. And so I love to go to shows, but particularly shows that he's in. So I would probably do that. And then I think eating tacos for dinner. I love tacos. And so that would be probably the perfect ending to my day. Actually, my favorite third place is going to a coffee shop, whether I'm working or just relaxing, going there by myself. So I am not necessarily interacting with the people around me, but I love observing the social interactions that people have and feeling like I'm immersed in the community. It helps me focus, and I really get a lot out of absorbing my surroundings and the interactions that people have. The thing that I enjoy about my work and probably my life too is solving problems. And that's one of the things that I just love about planning, is that we're tasked with solving all kinds of problems, from very small ones that apply to one person's property or something like that, to a citywide issue like we don't have enough housing. How do we fix that? And so that's what really drives me, is digging into, approaching it from an analytical angle, but then also having the opportunity to talk to people and understand their experiences, and having people help me understand what the problem is. So that's the thing that I love about public engagement, which is a big part of our work, is to be able to talk with folks on their own turf, understand in their day-to-day experiences what are the problems that they have. And then I go back and think about how can planners and decision makers help individuals solve their problems, help make their lives better. And that's really what drives me.